Some traditions are so weird, they make you wonder if humanity ever read the instruction manual. 1. Japan's Crying Baby Festival. Every year, Japanese parents line up to hand their babies to a sumo wrestler whose job is to make them cry. It's not some bizarre prank or endurance test. It's an ancient belief that a loud crying baby scares off evil spirits and brings good luck. So you've got a crowd of parents cheering while a 300-pound wrestler makes faces at a confused infant until it bursts into tears. Imagine the therapy bills 20 years later. The event has been running for over 400 years, proving that in Japan, even your baby's emotional breakdown can be a community sport. Somewhere, there's a child psychologist watching this and whispering, "Job security." 2. Greece's no red underwear. New Year rule. In parts of Greece, it's considered bad luck to start the new year without wearing red underwear. The color symbolizes life and luck, but only if the underwear is a gift. You can't buy it yourself, that would be greedy. So imagine dozens of Greek families awkwardly gifting each other underwear every December, all in the name of tradition. Grandma, did you get me boxers again? Yes, dear. May fortune bless your behind. The streets are filled with fireworks, champagne, and people secretly checking if they're properly color-coded for destiny. It's the only time of year when forgetting your laundry can curse your whole calendar. 3. Britain's cheese rolling madness. Every spring in Gloucestershire, England, hundreds of people gather to chase a 9-pound wheel of cheese down a steep hill. It's not a metaphor. They actually throw the cheese, and whoever reaches it first wins. The hill is so steep that most competitors end up cartwheeling, somersaulting, or rolling like human bowling balls before being scraped off by medics at the bottom. The prize? The cheese. That's it. One wheel of glorified dairy. It's basically a festival that proves how far people will go, literally, for free food. Locals claim it's good fun. Paramedics call it their busiest day of the year. 4. India's frog wedding ceremony. When drought hits in parts of India, locals don't just pray for rain, they host a full-blown wedding for frogs. Yes, 2 actual frogs are dressed up in tiny wedding outfits and married off in a traditional Hindu ceremony, complete with chanting priests, rice blessings, and a very confused amphibian guest list. The ritual is based on the belief that the croaking of newly wed frogs pleases the rain god, Indra, who will then bless the region with storms. After the ceremony, the frogs are released into a pond because, honeymoon. It's a strange mix of devotion, superstition, and pure amphibian bewilderment. And honestly, given how unpredictable weather apps are, marrying off frogs might actually have a better success rate. Somewhere, a meteorologist is crying into his radar data while a pair of frogs is enjoying a monsoon honeymoon. 5. Spain's Tomato War, La Tomatina. Every August, the Spanish town of Buñol transforms into a battlefield of ketchup proportions. Thousands of people gather for La Tomatina, the world's biggest food fight, where over 100 tons of overripe tomatoes are hurled across the streets. It started in the 1940s as a local argument that spiraled out of control and somehow became an annual tradition. Now it's internationally famous, a joyous, slippery chaos of flying vegetables, ruined clothes, and tourists pretending they didn't pay money to be assaulted by produce. The town even hoses down the streets afterward, which ironically leaves everything smelling like a Mediterranean salad. Locals claim it's about community and joy, but let's be real, it's also about stress relief. Nothing says Viva España quite like pelting your boss in the face with a tomato and calling it culture. 6. Scotland's blackening of the bride. Before Scottish brides walk down the aisle, they first walk through chaos. In a ritual called the blackening, friends and family ambush the bride-to-be, covering her with molasses, feathers, flour, and whatever sticky horror they can find. Then they parade her through town in that state. A walking art project of humiliation. The belief? If she can endure that public mess, she can handle marriage. Romantic, right? It's like a bachelorette party hosted by a medieval torture committee. The bride laughs, cries, and smells like breakfast syrup, while her friends film everything for social media, because humiliation doesn't count unless it's viral. Centuries ago, this was meant to scare away evil spirits. Now it mostly scares away dry cleaners. Nothing says true love quite like starting your marriage by getting tarred and feathered by your best friends. 7. Finland's wife-carrying championship. In Finland, romance and athleticism collide in the wife-carrying championship, where men race through obstacle courses while hauling their wives on their backs. The prize? The wife's weight in beer. So yes, the heavier your partner, the bigger your reward. The technique of choice is the Estonian carry, where the wife hangs upside down with her legs around her husband's neck, basically a romantic chokehold. The tradition supposedly dates back to a 19th century bandit who stole food and occasionally women. Now it's a family-friendly sporting event that draws competitors worldwide. Spectators cheer as couples tumble into mud pits and over hurdles, proving that nothing tests love like a three-legged race on steroids. It's equal parts ridiculous, adorable, and probably the most creative way to argue about balance in a relationship, physically and emotionally. 8. Mexico's Night of the Radishes. Every December 23rd in Oaxaca, Mexico, people carve giant radishes into intricate sculptures. Saints, animals, entire nativity scenes for La Noche de Rábanos, the Night of the Radishes. The roots can grow up to 2 feet long, making them perfect for detailed, if temporary, masterpieces. The catch? The radishes start shriveling within hours, so sculptors have just one night to show off their edible art before it literally rots. The festival began over a century ago when farmers used carved radishes to attract shoppers at Christmas markets. Now, it's a full-on competition that draws crowds and cash prizes. It's part art show, part vegetable funeral. Imagine Michelangelo working in produce, knowing his masterpiece will become compost by morning. It's proof that beauty doesn't last forever, especially if it's made of salad ingredients. 9. South Korea's fan death fear. In South Korea, there's a long-standing belief that sleeping in a closed room with an electric fan running can literally kill you. It's called fan death, and it's taken so seriously that many fans sold their cum with automatic shut-off timers labeled as safety features. The theory goes that a fan left on overnight can either suck out the oxygen or cause fatal hypothermia, even in the middle of summer. Scientists have debunked it repeatedly, but try telling that to Korean parents who still unplug their fans before bed like they're defusing a bomb. It's one of those cultural fears that refuses to die, because it's been passed down for generations. Somewhere, a confused engineer is wondering how he ended up designing a death prevention timer for something that moves air. Meanwhile, South Koreans sleep soundly, and very, very quietly. 10. Switzerland's pet companionship law. In Switzerland, owning just one guinea pig is illegal. Yes, illegal. The Swiss government considers them social animals that get lonely without company, so keeping a single one counts as abuse. If your guinea pig dies and you're not ready to get another, there are even rental guinea pig services that lend you a temporary furry friend to help your survivor cope. It's a heartwarming and deeply bureaucratic approach to animal welfare, like therapy, but with more squeaking. The law reflects how seriously the Swiss take emotional well-being, even for rodents. It's both adorable and absurd, a nation where even pets have better social lives than most humans. Somewhere, a hamster is watching this and filing paperwork for emotional support status. Honestly, we could all use that kind of legal protection from loneliness. 11. Spain's Baby Jumping Festival. Every June, the Spanish village of Castrillo de Murcia hosts El Colacho, where grown men dressed as devils leap over rows of newborn babies. It's not a prank. It's a 400-year-old tradition meant to cleanse infants of sin and bad luck. The babies are carefully laid on mattresses, and local men in yellow masks and red suits sprint through the streets, jumping over them like Olympic hurdlers of holiness. No baby has ever been hurt, which is frankly miraculous, considering the setup looks like an insurance nightmare. The event combines religion, adrenaline, and questionable decision-making into one glorious spectacle. It's part baptism, part obstacle course, all chaos. Tourists love it, parents trust it, and somewhere a safety inspector is quietly hyperventilating. Because nothing says welcome to the world like a grown man in tights flying over your face. 12. China's turtle whispering ritual. In parts of rural China, fortune tellers once practiced turtle whispering, a ritual where they'd whisper questions to a turtle and interpret its movements as divine answers. The turtle would be placed on a marked board or in water, and its every twitch or swim direction would be analyzed like a reptilian stock forecast. People asked everything from marriage advice to business predictions. If the turtle stayed still, it meant uncertainty. If it moved forward, prosperity. And if it flipped over, well, let's just say you were having a rough year ahead. Eventually, laws were passed to protect the animals, but the ritual lives on in folklore. Modern fortune tellers sometimes replace turtles with robotic toys, proving humanity's commitment to consulting anything that moves slower than we do. Who needs spreadsheets when you have amphibian analytics? 13. Thailand's Monkey Buffet Festival. Once a year, the town of Lopburi, Thailand, throws a banquet for monkeys. Thousands of macaques are treated to a lavish spread of fruits, vegetables, and desserts stacked into towering pyramids. The festival began as a thank you to the monkeys, who are believed to bring good luck and tourism. Now it's a full-on spectacle, with monkeys diving into fruit platters like tiny, chaotic kings. Guests snap photos as apes snatch sodas, peel bananas, and occasionally start food fights. It's cute until one steals your wallet. The town even dresses up statues of monkeys in costumes for the event, making it look like Planet of the Apes hosted a block party. It's a celebration of gratitude, chaos, and monkey mayhem, proof that in Thailand, respect for nature comes with a banana buffet and a side of insanity. 14. Denmark's cinnamon attack on singles. In Denmark, turning 25 without getting married means one thing: your friends will ambush you and cover you in cinnamon. It's not mean, it's tradition. The pepperman, or peppermaid, for those 30 and still single, becomes the target of a massive spice attack, where friends throw handfuls of cinnamon powder until the unlucky birthday person looks like a gingerbread statue. The origins trace back to old spice traders who supposedly stayed bachelors too long. Today, it's mostly done for fun and social media gold. People get taped to lampposts, soaked in water, and absolutely coated in brown dust. It's absurd, hilarious, and smells delicious. The cleanup, however, is less festive. Imagine explaining to your neighbors why you look like a baked churro in distress. Love might fade, but cinnamon lasts forever. 15. Japan's Penis Festival, Kanamara Matsuri. Yes, Japan really celebrates an annual penis festival. Every spring in Kawasaki, locals parade giant phallic statues through the streets, eat lollipop-shaped candies, and pose for photos with inflatable symbols of fertility. The festival dates back to the 17th century, when sex workers prayed to a steel phallus for protection from disease, and somehow it evolved into a national tourist attraction. The celebration now promotes safe sex and HIV awareness, but let's be honest, most people show up for the absurdity. Vendors sell everything from carved radish penises to themed souvenirs, and the air is filled with laughter, awkward selfies, and cultural whiplash. It's equal parts educational and deeply uncomfortable for anyone visiting with their parents. Still, it's a tradition that proves no topic is too taboo for Japan, not even one that requires a parade permit and a straight face. 16. Bolivia's Day of Skulls. In Bolivia, people keep human skulls, real ones, and decorate them like family heirlooms. Once a year, during El Dia de las Ñatitas, locals bring these skulls out of their homes, dress them in hats, flowers, sunglasses, and even cigarettes, then parade them to church for a special blessing. The skulls are believed to protect their owners and bring good luck, acting as personal guardians of the household. Some are passed down for generations, while others are found or adopted from cemeteries. The celebration is both eerie and oddly heartwarming. Imagine a family reunion where half the guests are dead but still get a seat at the table. Priests bless them with holy water. Families offer them food, and everyone takes selfies like it's a normal Tuesday. It's death with dignity, but also with fashion sense. If your skull has Gucci sunglasses, you're officially doing the afterlife right. 17. Austria's Krampus Parade. In Austria, Christmas isn't just about Santa Claus, it's also about his horrifying sidekick, Krampus. Every December, men dress up as giant, horned demons and storm the streets, chasing and terrifying children who've misbehaved. The Krampuslauf, or Krampus Run, looks like a metal concert met a nightmare. The furry monsters rattle chains, carry birch sticks, and occasionally swipe at onlookers, all in the spirit of festive discipline. Parents bring their kids to watch this, yes, willingly, as if trauma builds character. The idea is simple. Be good, or the horned beast will snatch you in a sack. Its ancient alpine tradition meets pure psychological warfare. Modern versions have turned it into a party, complete with beer stands and fire dancers. So, while the rest of the world is singing carols, Austrians are running from Satan in a snowstorm. Merry Christmas indeed. 18. Japan's Hadaka Matsuri, the Naked Festival. Every February, thousands of Japanese men strip down to loincloths and battle to grab sacred sticks tossed by priests at the Hadaka Matsuri, Naked Festival. The sticks, called shingi, are said to bring luck to whoever catches them, and the competition is brutal. Picture a human mosh pit of freezing, half-naked men, all pushing, shoving, and wrestling for divine favor. The festival dates back 500 years, meant to purify the soul through endurance and chaos. It's not about shame, it's about survival. The men purify themselves with ice-cold water before entering the temple, which sounds less like spiritual cleansing and more like hypothermic initiation. The winner gets eternal good fortune, and probably a week off work to recover. It's the only religious event where frostbite counts as a badge of honor and humility comes with goosebumps. 19. Indonesia's Walking Dead tradition. In the Toraja region of Indonesia, death is more of a long-term project than an event. When someone dies, the body isn't buried right away. It's kept in the family home, dressed, cared for, and even talked to daily, sometimes for years. Relatives treat the corpse as sick, not dead, until the grand funeral ceremony can be afforded. And when that day finally comes, it's a full-scale festival. Music, feasts, animal sacrifices, and guests from across the island. But it doesn't end there. Every few years, families exhume their ancestors' bodies, clean them, redress them in new clothes, and parade them through town. It's called Manin, the ceremony of cleaning corpses. Locals believe it strengthens family bonds, even the posthumous ones. Outsiders might see it as macabre, but to the Toraja, death is just another stage of life, preferably one with a wardrobe change. 20. Italy's Battle of the Oranges. In the Italian town of Ivrea, history is remembered with a massive orange-throwing war. Thousands of people divide into teams and hurl tons of oranges at each other in a medieval-style food fight that reenacts a 12th century rebellion. The story goes that a miller's daughter decapitated a tyrant duke with his own sword, and somehow that evolved into pelting strangers with citrus. Streets turn into rivers of orange pulp, participants wear helmets, and cleanup crews shovel away literal tons of fruity carnage. It's dangerous, sticky, and smells like chaos and vitamin C. Tourists love it, locals endure it, and orange farmers make a fortune. It's not just about fun, it's about defiance, freedom, and excellent sources of potassium. In short, it's the world's healthiest riot. Nothing says liberty quite like getting hit in the face by citrus justice. 21. Nepal's living goddess, the Kumari. In Nepal, a young girl is chosen to live as a Kumari, a living goddess believed to be the earthly embodiment of divine power. She's selected from a Buddhist family and must meet 32 physical perfections, from a flawless voice to eyes shaped like a cow's. Once chosen, she lives in a temple, worshipped daily by devotees and visited by royalty for blessings. She doesn't walk, she's carried. She doesn't go to school, she's taught privately. But the role ends abruptly once she bleeds, even from a small cut, marking her return to mortal status. Then a new goddess is chosen, and life moves on. It's a blend of sacred reverence and real-world weirdness, a system where divinity has an expiration date and childhood ends the moment you scrape your knee. 22. The Philippines' ant-slapping Easter tradition. While most countries celebrate Easter with pastel eggs and church services, one rural town in the Philippines has a holier and much itchier version. Locals take part in a ritual called anting-anting, where devotees walk barefoot through forests and literally let themselves get bitten by red ants. Why? It's believed that enduring pain purifies the soul and brings protection from evil. Some participants even rub tree sap and honey on their skin to attract more ants, because apparently salvation needs extra venom. The ritual's roots go back centuries, mixing Catholic symbolism with indigenous purification rites. Afterward, people emerge covered in welts, but smiling, claiming spiritual strength and slightly terrifying bug bite patterns. Imagine explaining to your coworkers that your Easter weekend involved turning yourself into a walking buffet for insects. Faith, it seems, really can sting. 23. Madagascar's turning of the bones. Every 7 years in Madagascar, families dig up their ancestors' remains for famadahana, or turning of the bones. They unwrap the bodies, rewrap them in new silk cloth, dance with them around the village, and share meals with their dearly departed. The air fills with music, laughter, and the faint reminder that death doesn't cancel family reunions. The ritual is seen as an act of love, helping the dead move toward the afterlife with warmth and memory. Outsiders might call it morbid, but locals call it joyful, a chance to celebrate life with those who once lived it. Think of it as Thanksgiving, but with guest appearances from great-grandpa himself. Some families even update their ancestors on local gossip, weddings, and sports scores. It's heartwarming, strange, and surprisingly wholesome. Death here isn't final. It's just another RSVP. 24. Germany's Goat Pageant, the Alpine Miss Goat Contest. In the Bavarian Alps, people hold a beauty pageant for goats. The Schönheitswettbewerb der Ziegen, beauty contest for goats, judges the animals on fur shine, horn symmetry, and even charisma. Owners spend weeks grooming, brushing, and accessorizing their goats like they're preparing for Paris Fashion Week. The animals parade proudly while judges assess posture, elegance, and personality. Winners get ribbons, bragging rights, and probably a lifetime of smug bleating. It sounds ridiculous, but it's a big deal in the region. Locals say it celebrates tradition and the bond between herders and livestock. And yet, you can't help but picture a goat practicing runway walks and demanding organic hay. Somewhere, an actual model is crying into her contour palette, while a mountain goat wins Best in Horns. It's Europe's weirdest red carpet where glamour has hooves. 25. India's Cow Dung Festival, Govardhan Puja. In the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, the Govardhan Puja takes things to a new level of devotion and odor. Villagers gather piles of cow dung, shape them into ornate sculptures, and then worship them. Yes, actual cow dung. The cow is sacred in Hindu culture, symbolizing abundance and purity, so the ritual honors its divine contribution. After decorating the dung mounds with flowers, turmeric, and colored powders, people dance around them, light incense, and pray for prosperity. Kids even compete to make the best-shaped holy patties. Outsiders might gag, but locals see beauty and gratitude in every brown masterpiece. The event ends with everyone sharing sweets, hopefully not mixed up with the offerings. It's messy, spiritual, and uniquely human, a reminder that meaning can grow from the strangest materials, quite literally. 26. USA's Frozen Dead Guy Days. In Nederland, Colorado, locals celebrate a festival honoring a man who's been frozen in a shed since the 1990s. Yes, it's called Frozen Dead Guy Days. The event began when a Norwegian man preserved his deceased grandfather in dry ice and kept him stored in his backyard freezer. When the town discovered this, they didn't shut it down. They turned it into a holiday. Every March, people gather for coffin races, polar plunges, and costume contests celebrating Grandpa Brado, the permanently frozen guest of honor. The man himself remains encased in ice, while the living drink beer and dance to bands with names like the Corpse Revivers. It's morbid, hilarious, and perfectly American, honoring death with barbecue and music. Somewhere, Grandpa Brado is the coolest man in town, literally. 27. China's Hungry Ghost Festival. In China, the Hungry Ghost Festival is like Halloween, but with more sincerity and fewer costumes. It's believed that once a year, the gates of the underworld open and spirits roam the earth. Families prepare feasts, burn incense, and even offer paper versions of luxury goods, cars, iPhones, mansions, to appease their ghostly visitors. The idea is to keep the dead happy and out of trouble. Street corners fill with flickering fires, and the air smells like incense and roasted duck. Children are told not to wander or swim during the festival, lest a spirit decide to borrow them for company. It's hauntingly beautiful, a mix of fear and love that turns the afterlife into a dinner party. And honestly, it's the only holiday where ghosting your relatives is literally frowned upon. Humans will do anything to make sense of chaos. Dance with corpses, chase cheese, or throw oranges at strangers. But hey, that's what makes us fascinating. Which of these traditions would you dare to join? And which one deserves an award for peak absurdity? Tell me below. And remember, normal is just a setting on a washing machine.